Welcome back, everybody. We're back. We're back with SHAGCast number 6, episode 6. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Even if you're not here, I'm glad that you're watching after the fact. It's a beautiful, beautiful day, and I know I'm going to get myself in tons of trouble tonight. And moving forward, because these will be out, as I'm sure, as clips of some sort in the near future. But I wanted to, there's a bunch of stuff coming out, a couple things that came out today that I saw on Twitter that I wanted to comment on and just have my say, because I wrote something up. The problem with Twitter is that it does not, well, it allows for longer messages and whatnot, but nobody really looks at those. Everyone's lazy. Y'all are lazy as shit. All you do is you scroll, you look for something fun, and you click the like button, the heart, whatever the hell it is, and then you move away from it. And when someone has something good to say, you scroll right by it because you're lazy, you're fat, you didn't get to the gym, you were in bed too long. Well, I'm here to say, get your ass to the gym, get out of your fucking bed, and get life rolling, and listen to what people have to say. And listen to what I'm about to say. Let's get our grift on. What's up? Professor Savage Dad's here, and King Deplorables is here. And you know, I'm just happy that people might catch this after the fact. If you guys are catching this and seeing this on Twitter, great. Come over to YouTube. I'll be talking for a little bit here. We're not going to make a big, long stink of it all, but we are going to talk about what's going on, because I think it's important. And what I find important matters, and that's it. You hear me? Get out of here. I don't want to hear myself talk. But I make sure you like the stream. Everyone like the stream? Good job. Okay. Where are we at? King Deplorable says, I know, big surprise. I promise I won't fill the chat tonight. I'm tired today. No, man. I don't care. People can fill the chat all they want. I don't care if one person chats the whole time. I don't care if anyone chats. Really, this is just, at the end of the day, I think YouTube is just an archive of things that I want to say, and I hope that people will want to listen to. That's ultimately the goal of all this, is that I have a bunch of shit to say. I got a bunch of equipment that I can talk into, and hopefully it makes it all sound great, and then people will like it later on. That's the goal. So there's the stuff surrounding Stellar Blade and IGN and all this beef that's happening. Like, I guess I get it. I guess I get it. And people and their censorship and my boobies and all that, whatever. So let me bring up the tweet, because again, I don't want to, I'm in mutual group. I'm like mutual friends with the person who posted the original tweet. And again, I'm not trying to, what is the word? I'm not trying to stir the pot, as it were. But I want people to use their goddamn head. What's going on, Dark After? Good to see you. What's up, Arcasoul? Good to see you. So, I got to share my screen. Why is this up here? Bring it back down to the bottom. We're going to share my screen. It's on this tweet right here. This is the tweet. Should I go up there? Nope, that's the wrong one. Should I go down here? I'll go down here. Here's a tweet right here from Packer Girl. So we're in mutual groups or whatever. And the tweet was, anyone surprised? Upside down smiley face. IGN, so they post side-by-side pictures. There's one of Stellar Blade. They're giving it a 7 out of 10. And then Hades 2, which just got into early access, is a 9 out of 10. And then the tweet is, Hades 2 feels impossibly huge, unbelievably polished by any standard, much less an early access game. Mel is awesome. The new tweaks to the combat and progression are excellent, and it's just unbelievably feature-packed. Okay, cool. I went on to ask the question, or I said, Hades 2 is incredible, but a vastly different game and experience Furthermore, it breaks the mold compared to many early access games. I don't know, maybe I'm missing the point here. To which they responded saying, gaming journalists are trying to force a safe, horny narrative onto the game. So here in Let's Play, and some dipshit responded with, oh wait, I didn't even see these. Let's read these since we're here. What? Literally, IGN and Kotaku have been nonstop calling Hades 2 the hottest game of all time, emphasizing the sexual attractions of the characters, but when people did it to Stellar Blade, they became called gooners, hypocritical and xenophobic as hell. Oh my god. And this is all present in the review. Yeah, so here's my issue with this. And I am probably going to bore you to tears as we go through these reviews. So this is the tweet that, again, so I wanted to bring this whole thing up. So again, let me break it down so people understand, because some are confused. They are disparaging Stellar Blade and calling people horny goons, essentially, and giving it a 7 out of 10, but propping up Hades 2 as a sexy, beautiful game, blah 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 blah, and giving it a 9. So they're trying to say there's a double standard here, and what I am arguing in a sense here is that everyone is stupid and they're pulling controversy out of their ass, and I'm getting kind of sick of it. So let's look. I want to show you the reviews that were done for these games by IGN, because what I'm let me focus back up. My issue here is not that someone put a tweet out on Twitter. Whatever. You can say what you want on Twitter. Do your thing. This tweet has over 500,000 likes, 7,000 likes, a bunch of retweets. So it's an interesting ratio of things here. For 500,000 views, it only has, a handful engagement by comparison. But I'm kind of sick of how everything's being painted in a certain way without people actually reading what's going on and reporting in a very honest way. So we're going to start with the Stellar Blade review. I have not played Stellar Blade. This is not my kind of game past it's a Souls-like game. It is like the art style is not my thing at all. And that's why I sort of stay away from games like this. I'm sure it's great. People have said it's really cool. Not my kind of thing though. Oops. Let me go back to here. So like, I want to read this. Like I really want to read this like word by word for you guys. So you understand that, this review speaks nothing. Well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring you down to the part that does talk about skimpy outfits. So here's a little video. There's a whole breakdown on the game. Some more breakdown on the game. 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 Oh. Is this it? Nope. We're going to go even farther down and make sure we find, oh man, I still can't find where they're talking about outfits and jiggly physics and boobs. Oh, here's the part. All the way down at the bottom of this article. There are collectible cans that can be returned to your base for a variety of rewards. Core parts that increase your max health and energy. Robot loot pinatas that are pinatas that contain all sorts of goodies. Exoskeletons are greatly alter your stats and can affect your approach to combat. And of course, 30 or so outfits that you can use to change Eve's appearance. There is an impressive variety among those costumes. So for every skimpy swimsuit and super tiny miniskirt, there's also a classy dress or stylish outfit that makes Eve look like, as my wife put it, an insta-baddie. The end. Nothing else talks about the outfit here. This is a very, 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 very detailed and, in my opinion, very unbiased a breakdown of what Stellar Blade is. Stellar Blade is a game this article gives a lot of good points about the game and many bad points about the game. It's very fair in its approach to it. Imagine that, a big giant company like IGN giving a fair assessment of a game. I know that sounds crazy to all of you, but here it is. It's not to say, now I'm not saying that everyone was fair in their approach in talking about Stellar Blade and what it was. The censorship stuff, if they're censoring something, oh God, that's awful. We don't like censorship, of course. But the approach to this breakdown of Stellar Blade was very fair. I read the entire thing, and one paragraph had anything to do with the outfits, and not once did they talk about how this game makes people horny. So Hades 2 drops as a early access hack and slash roguelike. If any of you played the first Hades game, you probably remember the art style is quite unique. There are and in my opinion, it is one of the better roguelikes that have come out over the past few years. Hades, in my opinion, was one of the best. It was one of the most well-made games in the last probably 10 years. Great storytelling that unfolded over multiple runs. The voice acting was superior to anything that I had played at the time, especially in early access. And then there was a reason to keep going. Apparently, journalists have been propping this game up as some like sexy, amazing game with amazing artwork, and people are mad because they gave this game a 9 out of 10. Let me put it back up on screen. Is this any good? No, it's not. It's not that good. How do we do the... I hate this computer thing. Can you upgrade the booby jiggle? I don't think so. So once again, IGN goes into a very, very detailed breakdown of this game. Very detailed breakdown of the game. The person reviewing has over 40 hours in the game, and it just came at like 40. So somehow they've been, I don't know if they have actual 40 hours in this game. They must have had early access to the early access, because the game hasn't even been out for 40 hours, I don't think. So again, they break down everything about this game, even going back to Hades to give people an update to what this game is and why people should try it out. They celebrate this game more than they celebrate Stellar Blade because I think this is more their style of game, but also because the game feels better. There's better storytelling. In the Stellar Blade review, they talk about how the storytelling is not up to par as far as they're concerned, and they even go as far as to say that the developer talks about how the story elements, the story and the world building isn't up to par. They wanted to make a game that was more fun, and they were better at making game mechanics that were great. Which, from what I hear, the game mechanics, the actual fighting, much like Sekiro, is really, really good. And a lot of people are saying Stellar Blade is game of the year. I don't know if that's the case. A game like Hades would have my vote as far as as far as game of the year, especially when a game comes out in early access like this and is nearly finished. That's one of my favorite things about, like, with Hades 2, it comes into early access and it feels like a complete game. That to me is how you do early access. You're just testing out a few things. You might tweak some settings here and there, but that's about it. And again, they go into great detail. This is not a short review. It's a very long review that goes into many different elements. It explains why this game is a better version of its predecessor and why it doesn't feel like a DLC, and how the combat has changed and how the builds have changed, the equipment has changed, the boons have changed, the different gods that help you along the way. Well, the gods are sort of the same, but they give you different things because there's different ways to build these, different ways to build the kill. Malinaway, now that you're playing a different character, she's like a mage or a she's a witch, so she can use magic, whereas Zagreus was essentially a warrior in the first one. But once again, there's nothing in this review that talks about how sexy one of the gods are, how it made them feel all squishy in their pants or whatever. I'm sick. What I'm really sick of is people misrepresenting what's being said in articles. And like, so you're posting articles and making assumptions about what they're about, and then and getting people all fired up. And the people in the comments are like, "Oh yeah, fucking bullshit. Like, it's double standard." Like, okay, accurate reporting would be nice. These games, the reviews are comprehensive. They're well thought out. They're well written. The person has played them. They go into great detail. They've played them. And based on the review of Stellar Blade, like, it doesn't sound like a game of the year game. It doesn't sound like a game of the year game. I don't know if it's a game that I want to really delve into. And I like Souls-like games. I think I've played, the only ones I haven't played are Neo games. But I was pretty disappointed to see that this was like getting, the attention it got and people being as mad as they were. Who finishes games before release? I don't know. This person beat the whole game before its full release. Hades 2, that is. That's impressive. What also is impressive about that, and something I will comment on, is the fact that you have, people want to say like, oh, these publications, IGN and Kotaku and blah blah blah, they're not good journalists. They don't play games. They don't know what they're talking about. Well, this person obviously is. Like, I'll give credit where it's due. I know that not everyone does, but damn, like, you got to give people credit where it's due. And I'm sick of ignoring that fact. I really am. You guys can walk away, you can unsub, you can do whatever you want, but I will, it's just what I want to do. I'll say when something's good. These were good reviews of the game. Period. End of story. Yeah, sorry, I'm not on Rumble. This was it was a pretty last minute thing, and I didn't plan ahead. I almost didn't do the show tonight because I wanted to just relax and chill. You have to realize that critics are bringing their personal opinion to the review. There are games that may not be their flavor. Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with that. But these reviews were not that. These reviews told you what the games were doing. Like these reviews, like, let's go through the Stellar Blade one. We're gonna sit here and read it so you understand like kind of what I'm saying. Who wrote these? Is this the same person who wrote them both? I just want to see. Yeah, Michael Saltzman wrote both of these. So same person wrote these, which is good. I do like that. Let me share this tab. And then, excuse me. Okay. Despite political leanings, there are indeed people who want to do great game reviews. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm seeing it. And this guy, I haven't seen his other works, but this is a step in the right direction as far as I'm concerned. So this is the Stellar Blade review. In his own words, Stellar Blade director Hyung Tae Kim is a visualist, not a storyteller, meaning whatever Stellar Blade lacks in its story, he tried to make up for it in its gameplay. It's a refreshing, transparent statement, and after playing Stellar Blade, one I find mostly accurate. So the story's not up to par, you know. So and by the director's own admission, this is a gorgeous action game with excellent character and monster design. Look, they even praise the character and monster design. Exciting combat that continues to evolve in fun and interesting ways across the 30-hour adventure. Its story, light RPG elements, and the actual substance of his character, on the other hand, fall well short of a high mark set in its combat. Stellar Blade certainly isn't pristine, and in some spots it's positively dull, but it's sharp in areas that matter most. Like, the first paragraph praises this game pretty well. So anyone who opens up this article and reads it and has half a brain realizes, okay, this is a good approach to this. I like that they're praising it, but I also like that they're bashing it. Like, it's pretty infuriating to watch people not actually read anything past a headline. Like, and everyone will like my comment on Twitter, like, read past the headline, and they'll like it and they'll go, oh yeah, I do it all the time. Nobody's doing it. Sorry. None of you are reading past the headline. You're getting really mad at a headline. And don't get me wrong, they're clickbait headlines, but read the fucking article. Read the articles that people are sharing that are getting you mad. Even if they just share like the screen capture, go type the article thing into Google and find the article and read it. I guarantee you it won't be nearly as bad as they're making it out to be. Most of the time. There are exceptions to the rules. Okay, let's go on. Stellar Blade's setting is a familiar one. Earth post-apocalyptic wasteland, and humans have fled the colony of space. You play as Eve, a member of the 7th Airborne Squad, who is sent to the surface to eliminate the threat of the Natiba, horrific monsters that laid claim to Earth once the humans fled. What follows is a predictable tale that sees Eve linking up with the last remnants of the human civilization and collecting 4 hypercores guarded by 4 big bosses, each of which comes with new revelations that answer the questions of what happened to the Earth, why the humans fled to space, what created the Natibas, and so on and so forth. None of the reveals were particularly surprising. And while the back half of the story is a bit more interesting, once all the cards are laid out on the table, any emotional moments fell flat for me because of the near complete lack of character building in the front half. So this just confirms basically what the director was saying, that they lack storytelling. So, and then they go on to talk about the personality, the characters lack any kind of personality, charm, or charisma, which I can see in a game like this, because in my opinion, a game like this, where front and center is boobs and all that stuff, I get the feeling that that's not really what they're going for. And again, I don't care if that's what they're doing. Good on you. I don't, whatever. That's not interesting to me. Don't tell me what to do. You're not even my real dad. You only read past the headline if you care enough. No, I understand that. That's for sure. I mean, that's smart. And I would say that's a smart way to go about it. But even like, if I get mad enough about something, or if I get frustrated enough with something, I'll say, what is going on that I can't, like, I need to read what's being actually reported, because I don't believe what I'm seeing. Let's see. Stellar Blade excels in its enemy variety design. Is that where? Oh, You could say that Stellar Blade's combat is derivative, but at the very least, it's derived from one of the best in Sekiro. Like Sekiro, it's very defensive driven. Enemies are prone to launch into long, uninterruptible combos, and the only way to properly deal with them is to precisely press the block button just before their attacks land to parry each attack, one after the other. Every parry you land takes away a point from the enemy's balance, and once their balance is broken, your ability to land a hugely damaging blow that will kill most standard enemies outright and deal massive damage to bosses. Unparryable attacks are clearly telegraphed with flashes of color. A yellow flash means an attack is straight up unblockable and needs to be dodged. Blue flash signals an attack that you can blink past by holding forward and dodging through the opponent to their backside. And then a purple flash is the sign of an attack that can be repulsed, which forces you to hold back and press the dodge button just in the right time. See, again, praising the combat of it and taking something that Sekiro did and making a little bit better. Like, we're talking about wins here. This is good. Like, developers Shift Up smartly didn't settle for just straight up copying Sekiro's combat either. It has its own twist in the form of beta skills, which are a series of 4 special attacks that Eve can use for specific purposes, including a wide sweeping attack that hits multiple enemies, a triple stab attack that does massive single target damage, a shockwave type move that hits enemies at a distance, and a shield breaker that deals extra damage to an enemy's armor. These attacks can be used by spending beta energy, which is gained by landing hits and parrying strikes, so you're well incentivized to engage with an enemy as opposed to running away and sneaking in a hit when you can. Great, very, very cool way of designing combat. This part of the review, I thought, like, piqued my interest, and I thought, oh, this is cool. I might actually check this game out. So again, this goes on and on, very much like this, and it talks about, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I wanted to tell you, basically, I wanted to show you essentially what the review was all about. They don't talk about the sexualization of these characters, but for 1-2 lines, and all they do is say that there's mini skirts and revealing outfits. That's it. Like, I don't know. I know this is like catching people in the ass a little bit, and is likely uninteresting considering where I come from as far as commentary goes. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm getting tired of stuff that I see on Twitter. I'm getting tired of seeing smart people go down the road of being stupid and not actually vetting the stuff that they're talking about, and making themselves look silly, making the broader, like, I guess culture warriors, for lack of a better term, look dumb. I'm not saying that people shouldn't fight against, like, censorship or any of that, or speak up against it. They absolutely should. But a little humility and giving it a little time to look this stuff over would be helpful. Be very, very helpful. I recommend people check out Hades 2. If you like roguelike games, if you like action like games, it is so incredibly good. I was playing for a bit last night. I've only played for about 3 hours. I've made it into the second level of the underworld, and I'm doing well, and I like it, and it's very, very different from the first one, which is good. It's like a whole new game to learn. It doesn't play the same way. The abilities are different. The character itself is completely different, and I don't feel that at all times I'm being hit with the, oh my god, I'm so powerful because I'm a woman. It just so happens that the character is a girl that is just trying to find out what's going on, and the story is unfolding for you as you go through these different runs. Like, it's probably not impossible to beat this game on your first run, but it's probably pretty hard since you don't know, like, what different enemies do. Yeah, King. There are people deep. There are people diving deep into the grift of it all. Drama farming, following the hate trends. It's tiring. Yeah, and I'm just not. I'm not gonna do it. I'll call the bullshit out here when I see it, and I think it's healthy too. You know, fight, like I said, fight censorship, fight the, you know, fight against these big companies, give them your opinions and all that. But I mean, you really gotta, people not being honest with what's actually, you know, what their actual opinions are, and just kind of following the hate trends. It's tiring. There's so much good stuff out there. Hades 2, like I want people to talk about it. Like I'm trying to binge Twin Peaks right now. Like I want to talk about Twin Peaks with someone. Let's talk about good shows. Let's talk about good things that are happening, especially in games. Um, you know, it's a fear of mine that the whole Helldivers thing was going to be another example of, you know, people not just enjoying a game. Oh, we won. We did this. We did that. You know. No, you know what? I watched the first episode, and I stopped only and not for any other reason than someone mentioned Twin Peaks, and I was like, Mark the Cyborg mentioned Twin Peaks, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go turn on Twin Peaks, and I watched 2 episodes, and I was like, yeah, this is great. Yeah. So my question, you know what my question was regarding Helldivers and that whole controversy? Didn't they already lock out, like, haven't they already locked out certain countries from that game? So like they locked out countries, and like from, I don't know, maybe what, who was it that was it Pirate Software that was talking about, was talking about it, about how like there's already countries locked out of it. So like people are celebrating this as a win, but there's countries that are still unable to play this game. So King said if they want anything, it's Sony making sure they'll never run into that embarrassment again. They'll make sure PSN is required from the start. Yeah, it's true. There were 177 countries locked out. We shall see if they reverse that decision. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and that's what like that's not my own thought. It is from Pirate Software. He was talking about how like they already locked out the 177 countries. Like, are they gonna roll that back? Yeah, I mean, they should make it like someone had shared a screenshot of actually the of Helldivers on Steam, and I don't know if it was a recent one or if it was after the fact. That said, this was a third party game, and it may require a third party thing from the start. So on Steam, it said that from the beginning. I can't verify that or verify the truth behind the picture, but if it was on the Steam page from the start, that would be something. But if they're just letting anyone refund the game, probably not. They probably know. I don't know. I have my thoughts on that whole thing too, and I don't know if I don't know. PlayStation is not available in some countries, but allowed a game to be sold there and basically rip people off after making them link accounts that they can't link. That's all. So why is it not available in those countries? That's what I'm interested in knowing. This is what I'm interested in knowing. How many people in those countries are playing, or, well, I guess that no one was ever playing that game in that country. So I'd be interested to know, like, how many, okay, how about this? I'd be interested to know how many PlayStation accounts are active in the countries that it's banned in, or why it's banned in there. I'm just asking a question. I'm asking how many My question would be, how many active PSN accounts are in those countries that they're banned from, and why are they banned anyway? That's what I would be interested in knowing. Like, why, you know? Does that make sense? I mean, I don't want people to be banned from playing games. I'm not arguing for that. Yo, calm your dick, Arcasul. I understand what the controversy is about. I'm asking a different question. No. That's my question. So PlayStation is, so I guess the question then is, why are they banned in those countries? Why is PlayStation banned in those countries? In 177 countries? Wait. 177 countries were locked out. Isn't there only 215? Like, how many fucking countries are there? Hold on a second. Yes, I know. I wasn't actually asking any of you for that answer because I know it's not. I know none of you know that answer. Oh, okay. 118 countries where PSN is not available. So additionally, the search titles of Helldivers 2 has been pulled from sale in 177 countries. As it is, PSN linking requirement rules out, suggests that there are 177 countries where Helldivers 2 is no longer purchasable due to the PSN linking requirement. Let's see if anyone knows the answers to this. What's up, Lethal? Oh, tits and ray guns. What's going on? Political regional currencies laws. So I was trying to find if there's any answers. I don't, I'm not seeing. Usually my chat GPT will give me an answer, and for some reason it's not right now. I don't want people to not have access to games. That's for sure. But you know what's funny is that I don't hear one fucking person talking about Sony not being available in other countries before Helldivers. So I don't think anyone actually gives a shit. I think they gave a shit about. I think someone made a stink about it. I think a majority of the people that were playing it weren't affected, and then they were all like, "Oh, but my censorship." Oh, blah. I think that's kind of what happened because no one cared about Sony's censorship of games before. About PlayStation Network not being available in their country. Nobody cared. No one cared about Sony not giving people their access to their product before. It's not censorship. Well, I mean, okay, wrong word. They're okay. What is the right word? About banning that game. Availability varies by country due to a combination of factors, including legal regulations, infrastructure limitations, market demand, and Sony's own business strategies. They sold a game where they knew it shouldn't be available. Oh yeah. Someone said, okay. So yeah, that's an interesting, yeah, well, that's an interesting one. Well, yeah, that's wrong. So, okay. So, all right, Lethal, that's really good to know. So why that's not what I hear people talking about. What I hear people talking about is requiring the PSN to the PlayStation Network ID to be logging in. Oh, okay. I see. Oh, right. Now I see the link there. Gotcha. Heard. Yeah. Well, you know, that's pretty fucked up. Now that I see that connection, it makes way more sense. That's got to be a big fuck up. That can't be. I don't know. See, there's parts of me that want to believe that most people are good, and when stuff like that happens, it seems like a gross misstep, and you know, a major oversight. But the caveat of it all, so there's a side of it that is not explored, right? So King, you bring up on here, the Chat GPT answer is, for the reason that PlayStation isn't available in certain countries is due to a variety of reasons: legal regulations, infrastructure, which is one that people don't realize, infrastructure limitations being like internet, market demand, like do people even want it, and then, or is it even necessary? Can they even own it? And Sony's own business strategies. I do think that's an interesting conversation about why that certainly complicates all of it. It complicates it all because there's nothing wrong inherently with requiring the third party, with requiring that third party login. We do it all the time with other games, but now they're selling the game. Now they sold the game and it was available to be purchased in other countries. And if they did, then they took that away from them. Arkansas said, Steam, Sony, and Arrowhead all have a part to play. Arrowhead knew about linking accounts and the unavailability 6 months before they had their hands tied by Sony. Sony let Steam sell to those countries. So it's essentially on Steam then. I mean, couldn't they essentially just, they could essentially, if someone bought it on Steam, if somebody bought it on Steam from one of those countries, just you could refund them. Well, it just depends. So, yeah, at the end of the day, yes, Steam, Sony, Arrowhead. Yeah. See, I didn't do a deep dive into any of this. Lethal, I know you've been talking about it a lot, so I definitely take your word on it. But I didn't, I don't know, and I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, well, Arrowhead definitely knew about it all before. That seems like if Arrowhead knew about it, even with how the PR has gone since they allowed returns of it, I feel like that's class action lawsuit shit. You know what I mean? If they knew, if Arrowhead knew, Sony and Steam were all in on this and they all allowed it to happen, that's a class action lawsuit. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I think the only thing saving them from that is that the fact that they're letting people refund it even after 1,000 hours. Well, that's what I mean is we can, Arkansas said it and maybe people think they know, but how, are people just speculating at this point, or is there actual documentation proving that they did it that way? That's important, man. It's important to know. If that's the case, that's again, it's one of the most fucked up things that you could do. The CEO said it? Oh, so the CEO of Arrowhead said that they knew 6 months beforehand that this game wasn't available in other countries. Yeesh. Yeah, I mean that's, oh boy. And I hope these companies make it out of, I mean, Steam's not going anywhere. But that's something that could totally kill something, or Sony, you know, like that's something that could totally kill a studio like Arrowhead. Diana, thanks so much for coming. Have a great night. Scary. Scary and stupid. Especially, you know, saying that shit and then, you know, then all of a sudden doing that. Oh boy. I don't know if people, what's funny is like, I don't think people really understand I don't really understand what people are. I don't think people understand what is actually going on. Like, I don't think people understand all that stuff. It's pure gaming autism and not the funny kind. Yeah. I feel bad for Arrowhead, but they did bring it on themselves. Listening to Lethal and Cream have swayed me a bit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if all that is true, they're lucky if someone doesn't take a class action lawsuit against them. And honestly, they should. I mean, that's the thing is like you get these wins and, you know, okay, they reverse the decision. You know, I'm not trying to put an entire group of people out of work. But you know, you need to, like, these people at the very top need to be taken out. The people running it and making the decisions and skipping and saying, we knew 6 months ago. Like, that is the problem. Those people are the problem because they don't care. They're not the ones pounding pavement every day. This side of the internet has no idea because it's nothing to do with wokeness. Right. Yeah, exactly. And well, yeah. And I think a lot of people, like all the stuff I see on TikTok, none of it is talking about like that part of it. No one's talking about that. Well, actually, even in our sphere, besides you guys, I've seen you guys talk about it, or I've seen that you've talked about it. Right. And that was the other thing, Lethal, is that I actually said some earlier was that's how we kind of got on it, was that is that none of it has been actually reversed. It's been more of it's slowly like they've tweeted about it but haven't reversed it. Your argument is invalid because they will just lay off the lower worker who has nothing to do with it. That's why Microsoft is up to, I think, 45K layoffs this year. No, I understand. I'm saying what I was saying was that this whole thing needs class action lawsuit to essentially, I mean, I don't want people to lose their jobs. I don't, but like if real change is made in the long run, like like we're gonna make an omelet, we gotta crack some eggs. You know, I don't want to see it. I don't want to necessarily be that. I don't ever want to be a part of something like that. But I also don't want to be a part of a company that is, you know, stealing massive amounts of money from people and then talking about it. No, and yes, I want those bad people to lose their jobs. Absolutely. You know, like, so I don't know what the answer is, but there's a lot of BS. I don't think anyone fully knows what that answer is right this minute. It's but I think some people need to. I think the answer is some people need to lose their jobs right now, unfortunately. Not the people working hard on the game. Not the people working hard on making a great game. Those people do not need to lose their jobs. Arxel said before, there is speculation that Sony did this to up their PSN numbers for stockholders. It's plausible, but we need to get hard evidence. Yeah. I leave all that stuff to the better people. one thing for sure is this is a cautionary tale for dev studios not to partner with a publisher. Yeah, I think, I mean, I think we're seeing there's a lot of lessons being learned in real time currently. But I think the one thing we're seeing is that independent media is winning over AAA stuff. And I was talking about this a couple of weeks ago, is that, you know, like when people were saying like, oh, if GTA 6 fails, that's the end of gaming. I'm like, AAA gaming is been dead. There's so many more people in investing in independent studios, because all these big studios they're actually letting these people go, and then they're starting their smaller projects and, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4-man studios, and making great games. And like games that are, you know, starting in early access and generally, and they're working up the level, they're working up to full release, and they're coming out. Now, it's not always, we do get some shitty games every now and then, but, you know, I think we're in a good spot with indie games and indie creations. I would like to see more indie movies really start to come out. They're a little bit more difficult. I hope the Epic verse can start with some of their awesome shorts and getting some good stuff out there. I despise early access. It puts too much pressure on the devs, and it can lead to subpar games due to pandering to fans. Yeah, but good has come out of early access. I think, and this is the other thing that companies or people need to learn, is that there is a way to do early access right. I don't necessarily disagree that early access ruined gaming or ruined games to some extent, but there is a way to do early access properly. And I do think that Steam can help in that there should be more guidance in how these early access programs work. Like there should be, in early access, there should be some stipulation that you need to like finish a game in a certain amount of time, or if you don't get to a certain release, that you need to refund or something like that. There needs to be way more guidance and rules surrounding early access, not just a hey, throw it up there and hope it goes well. Sons of the Forest did early access very well. They did pretty good. I said right now we were just talking about Hades 2. Hades and Hades 2 did really good in early access. I'm trying to look through my list and see what else there is. There's a bunch of like roguelikes that did really good in early access. But you know, for every one that we had that was in early access, there's always been Rocket League was another one that was in early access that did really well. Too many companies lean on early access as a crutch to push a trash product. I don't know if too many is the word. I think there are several. I'm worried about Gray Zone Warfare. They went early access to scoop up people leaving Tarkov. Yeah, but that was smart. And I think their game is more approachable. I think that game has, well, and again, this is where like places like Steam need to be. Yeah, Death Must Die. Yep, in early access. Yeah, Death Must Die is another one. Lethal, man. I knew I liked you, brother. If you like Death Must Die, Lethal, you should check out Halls of Torment. Halls of Torment is another Vampire Survivors clone. It's so good if you don't already play it. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Death Must Die is fucking, yeah. I actually have it installed right now. So what else was in early access here that was there? No, there, I mean, there is for sure. There's for sure games that have preyed there's companies that have preyed on their customers to get into early access, and they don't deliver. 7 Days to Die is an interesting one. I particularly do not like. I do not like 7 Days to Die. I think it's an awful survival game. I know a lot of people really like it. And the one thing I will say that I know is really cool about that game, about 7 Days to Die, is it has Twitch integration that people can like spawn stuff in the game and make things more difficult and blah blah blah. I do not like that. I do not like 7 Days to Die. I'm not a fan of it. But that's one that's been endlessly in early access. Yeah, and Halls of Torment is very similar. You could play it for and hours and not even realize it. And I think Death Must Die is like one of the easier versions of clones of Vampire Survivors. Used to play it back in the day on Twitch. Yeah, like I said, I don't disparage anyone for playing it. You know, have your fun. But yeah, 7 Days to Die is one of those early access games that I think really took people's money and didn't deliver. It hasn't fully delivered on it yet. For as long as it's been in early access, it should be 1.0. Let's see. There's so many games. Conan Exiles, you know, was another one that was early access for a while, and that game crushed it. It's so good. Darkest Dungeon, if you guys are into like a punishing roguelike dungeon crawler, it was in early access for I want to say 2 years or so, and then they and then it came out full release, and it is so good. Conan Exiles got bought out by Tencent. Was that after 1.0 or during? I don't even know. Or during? Was that during early access? Because it was an early access game. I mean, yeah. I mean, it was bought out by Tencent, but it was still in early access at one point, and then full released. I feel like they got bought out after the fact, but even still, it seems like it was. Never download Chinese spyware on your PC. I wish I had something worthy of spying on, honestly. I got a few picks that they might like. That's about it. I'm just waiting on Greedfall 2. Don't be fucking mid. Yeah. Nothing worth spying on my computer. Yeah, but they I guess so. Yeah, my computer has passwords, but not my phone, I think, has like my important ones. I don't do my banking on my computer. Huh. I prefer Western spyware personally. Hello, Google. Right. Yeah, everyone talks about Chinese spyware, but every single person logs in and uses Google every single day. I mean, serious. I mean, Google knows everywhere you are at all times, has every single password you've ever had. And we have the Patriot Act. Yeah, right. If they can get into your PC, they can get into. Oh, I know all about it. You don't need to tell. It's not secret. I know. I'm just fucking with you. So such a hypocrite will take so scared of them commie reds. I don't know. Like I said, I take a dick pic every night just so Google sees my schlong. Smart, dude. Oh man. It's actually pretty funny because you have to wonder, like, doing stuff like that, if it actually if someone's just like, this guy again. Hey, come look at this Aussie motherfucker. His dick is so small. Oh my god. You actually think this looks funny, you know? Oh man. I said a flashback to those late 90s porn dialers. Yeah. Okay, let's check out this other thing I saw today, because we all like a good racism. So Kathy Hochul had an awesome take today, and I'm sure you guys have seen it already, but I wanted to make sure that you guys saw it. I want to make sure everyone sees that people can just sit up on stage and be racist, and no one will correct you or anything.
No, this is New York. We like to be first. With all due respect to people from other states, it's sort of our attitude. You know, we will be the best. We will be the first, and I want others to follow, because right now we have, you know.
I want to know if the lady doing the sign language is actually doing any sign language. Have you guys actually have you guys seen the people who like pretend that they're doing sign language? Like there's been, like, I've seen videos of people who are getting arrested because they were pretending to do sign language and they weren't even doing anything. They were just like over on the side, like doing mimicking it. Like, can you imagine the balls, dude? That's pretty epic that someone does that. The pretend signers. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, that's what this is that we're seeing, is the soft bigotry of low expectations.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges. I've created this.
Do you think she realizes how dumb she sounds? Like, how, like, this guy, how does he sit here and be like, excuse, like, how is he not, I mean, like, wait, I'm sorry, miss, what? You think kids in the Bronx don't know what a fucking computer is? You should see that chick who signs at rap concerts. Number one, we are deaf people going. Why are deaf people going to concerts? Because if you don't know, Arkasul, I actually knew I knew several deaf people in college, and they would go to concerts because they could still feel the beat, and there were certain artists that they preferred the beat over other artists. So it is a thing. No, I think she thinks she's saying something profound. Yeah, I think so too, which is very sad.
This governance board, this advisory committee, our CEO is Arvind Krishna, who is the CEO of IBM, very well-established legacy industry. The co-chair is Tamika Barrett, who's the CEO of Girls Who Code. Why did I do that? Because I want all those young girls to know that there's a place for them in this emerging technology. So the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. Kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know.
Hold on. I gotta find something. Where's this video? I gotta find it. So what I saw was essentially what I saw was someone shared the video, but they put it side by side with that black guy who was slapping the computer around and like pretending like he didn't know like what the computer was. And that's exactly what I thought of when I saw this video this morning. Was, oh my God, like this is really what's happening. Oh, did you? Okay, yeah. Here. Hold on.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I wanted the world to open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges. Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word...
Bro. When is her apology video coming out? When is there going to be news stories about when is there going to be news stories about like how this is a white supremacist talking point? Is it ever going to happen? Because I feel like if some Republican had said that, we'd ever like CNN would have like 4 segments an hour going on about it. The one thing they will never do is make Tarzan black. I dare them to do it. I'd see that movie 20 times. Oh my God. Well, the mayor, the governor of Maine just also made it made construction work equitable in Maine. If you didn't know that. So yeah, Maine is incentivizing construction companies to hire women because the world needs its ditch diggers, and they better be some classy ladies doing so. Like it was funny. It was funny when Jordan Peterson said, you know, should we be, you know, 99% of bricklayers are men. And now Maine is like, you know what? We need more women bricklayers. We do. I like Cinderella in the first half where she just cooks and cleans. It's based. But they can make a sandwich. They can. I won't live in a place built by a woman. You shouldn't. I keyed. I mean, no. Yeah. More equitable hiring in construction in Maine. So maybe don't buy a new home in Maine. Don't buy a brand new home anywhere, especially those kit homes. They're awful. Oh my God. Dude, what are you doing? Scared the crap out of me. Well, there you have it. Gotta go put the kid to bed. It's his turn to be the host. I wish. No, he's got to go to bed. It's 10:30. I pretty much had covered everything I wanted to cover anyway. It's good timing. So, thank you guys. Lethal, thanks for all the information, dude. Arcasol, thank you for the video. Thank you all for chatting tonight. I used to work in health and safety. A house built by a woman is going to cause a lot of paperwork to explain that impending disaster. Yeah, y'all have a good night. I will be around tomorrow night. We have Hypnotic that's going to be on the midweek hump. Make sure you guys check it out. It'll be on at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. We're going to be hanging with Hypnotic after he's done with his show. See you guys next time. I appreciate y'all. You're cool. Thanks, man. How do I get out of here?
I like to put stuff online.